They didn't have faces. I know how that sounds, and I almost didn't say it. I tried to keep it to myself. It was easier to pretend I mixed it up. I left the campus library late. Maybe it was close to midnight. Or 1. I had finals. My sister had stayed with me, even though she didn't go there anymore. She said she didn't mind the quiet. It wasn't quiet. The fluorescent hum in that place got in my head and stayed there. I never noticed it before, or I did and forgot. We went out through the side door by the copy machines. The air felt colder than it should have felt for March. My bag dug into my shoulder. She bumped me with her elbow and said, "Walk me home," like she always did when she visited and it got late. It wasn't even far. 2 dorms over, 5 minutes, 10 if you stop for a soda. That kind of distance. We crossed the little plaza between the library and the Union. The big lamps made everyone look washed out. There weren't many people around. I said that then and I'll say it now. There weren't many, or not at first. I remember a group near the benches by the vending machines. They stood too close together. No one talked. I heard shoes. Not walking. Not really. Just scuff, scuff. Like people forgot how to lift their feet. A bunch of them doing it. A messy chorus that drifted in and out like they did it on purpose. I said, "Hear that?" And she said, "What?" And I said, "Never mind." We kept on the path. I wanted to cut across the grass. She didn't. She hated mud. I teased her, and she flipped me off. I watched our breath in front of us. I heard another scuff. Then I heard the lights buzz. That little sharp sound when they flicker. I looked back at the group. They all had their heads turned down, like they stared at their hands. But their hands were in their pockets. I know that sounds stupid. It looked wrong. That's all I'm saying. "Don't," my sister said when she saw me pulling my phone out. I said, "It's nothing," and snapped a picture anyway, because that's what you do when you think it's nothing. The flash went off. Just that harsh white from the little LED. It hit their faces, if I can even call it that. Smooth. It was smooth. I didn't get cheeks or eyes or mouths. Just skin stretched over the whole front. No features. Like the part where a face should be didn't get printed right. I laughed. It came out thin. "It's a glitch," I said. "Do it again," she said. But she said it like she didn't want me to. The library lights flickered right then. The ones behind us. I felt the air change. It felt like that inside a fridge feeling. Not freezing, just too even, too dry. I don't know. I turned in time to see them all turn toward us, all at once. Heads lifting at the same time, like someone said go. They were too far to see details. I didn't need details. I already saw. The scuffing got a beat to it. More people stepped into the light from the benches, from the dark between trees. I couldn't tell where they came from. It didn't matter. They all faced us after the flicker, together. My skin went tight. "Okay," I said. "Okay, let's go." We didn't run at first. That was stupid. We did that slow walk, the one where you tell yourself you're not scared so you're not running. My sister took my sleeve in a way she hadn't done since we were kids. I felt the pull. She didn't squeeze, not yet. We passed the Union. The windows were black. I tried the door anyway. Blocked. It had the push bar. I pressed it. Nothing. I pressed harder. It didn't give. Not like it was locked. Like the air was pushing back from the other side. "Come on," she said, dragging. "I'm trying," I said like a liar. We went around the building. I glanced back. The crowd had spread. I mean, they didn't spread like normal. They didn't talk. They didn't wave. No. They turned. stepped, scuffed, and the space between them stayed the same, like someone measured it. They kept my pace without hurrying. More of them were coming up from the lower path, 3 here, 5 there, flattening out into a wider line. That was the first time I noticed the way their attention was together, heads straight toward us. No one looking away, no one bumping shoulders, all of them on us, at the same time. "I don't like this," my sister said. She said it twice. I said, "It's some event. Some dumb thing." I didn't believe that. I wanted to. The security office sat at the end of the hall that cut through the humanities building. It was on our way. The light over the door buzzed louder than the others. The hum made my teeth feel tight. The sign on the door had a peeled corner. I remembered dumb things like that. The door sat ajar. Lucky, I thought. The desk would have a radio. A person. Something. We slipped in. No one sat at the desk. A jacket slumped over the back of the chair. The room smelled like stale coffee. The monitors were up on a metal rack. They ran the feeds. 9 or 12 squares, all black and white. That ghosty campus footage that makes things look wrong even when they're normal. I stepped closer. My sister looked for a phone. She picked up the desk phone and pressed buttons. It didn't make a sound. She put it down too fast. One monitor showed the corridor we had just come through. Or I thought it did. The angle looked off, like higher than it could be, unless they put a camera in the light. The frame showed the office door with the little window. It showed the bench across, the poster that said "Safe Walks" in bad font, and it showed me and my sister, backs to the camera, standing in that office. I mean, it showed the chair I stood by. It showed the jacket. It showed us. But it also showed others in the room with us, in the corners, against the walls. You know when you think you see someone behind you and you turn and it's just your coat? It wasn't like that. In the monitor, 5 or 6 stood in the far edge of the room. They looked like shadows until they didn't. They had that same smooth front on their heads. They were inside the office on the screen. They weren't inside when I looked. I know. I looked around so hard I got dizzy. It was just us and the jacket. I turned back to the screen. The group in the monitor had moved closer. My back prickled. I waited to feel a hand. Nothing touched me. The ones on the screen stood an inch behind me and my sister. I checked again, because I had to. Empty. The fluorescent hum felt louder in there. It filled the space in my head. "Let's go," she said, already at the door. The monitor blinked. The picture rolled. Just once. When it settled, the office on screen was empty. No us. No jacket. No anything. Just that room with the door shut on the inside. But our door was open. I didn't wait to figure it out. We got back in the hall. The hum followed. The crowd in the cut-through had gotten to the glass by then. They lined up outside, not pressing, just there, facing in. When we turned left, they stepped left. A whole line, pivot, step, scuff. Together. "Okay," I said again, into my throat. I tried a side exit. A sign above said exit with a little green man. I pressed the bar. It didn't move at first. Then it did, a tiny give. Then it hit something solid. I pressed with my shoulder. The gap opened an inch. Cold air pushed through. I smelled wet concrete. I saw a shoe through the gap. Black leather. The toe was just there, wedged. No give. I pushed into it, and my shoulder burned. I thought of slamming into it, like in movies. I didn't. The scuffing picked up from the other side. All those shoes, in a sloppy rhythm, and then they matched. They matched, without a signal. Scuff, pause, scuff. In time. We backed off. We had another idea. There were classrooms at the end of the hall with windows that opened to that little alley with the dumpsters. Gross, but better. We ducked into the first one with a window that wasn't sealed shut with paint. We pushed a table against the door and stacked chairs. It was dumb because those doors opened out. I didn't think. I shoved anything with weight in front out of instinct. My sister helped. She sweated through her hoodie. She wiped her upper lip and left a smear. The knocking came soft at first. Not hands. The door bent in a little. It bowed. Not like a pound. Like something leaned. The glass strip in the door didn't show anything. No faces. Just blank light. Window, I said. It had those cheap latches you squeeze. It stuck. I swore. She helped me. It opened up 2 feet, maybe. Enough to get through. The air from the alley smelled like old fries and bleach. The fluorescent light in the classroom buzzed even worse than the hall. It made a high whine in my skull. There was a vent up near the ceiling. It came on. A slow whisper through the ductwork. Not words. Not something I could repeat. Just that sound that makes your brain try to find a pattern. I froze. Stupid. I listened. I thought it was saying our names. It probably wasn't. I said, "Go," and boosted my sister up. She crawled through. Her sneaker slipped on the sill. Her ankle hit my head. I didn't say anything. She went out onto the little ledge over the dumpster. She turned and reached back for me. And that was when a hand slid under the door and closed on my shoe. It wasn't dramatic. No big grab. Just fingers on the rubber of my sneaker, right where it meets the laces. The skin felt cold through the canvas. The fingers were too smooth. No knuckles. They held. Not hard. They didn't yank. They just held too long. I jerked back. The hand slid, followed the movement, and stopped my foot with almost no effort and all the effort in the world. You ever try to pull away and think, I could just let this happen? I thought that. I didn't like it. I stomped down with my heel. I felt something soft under it, or I imagined it. The fingers let go. Not because I heard it, because they were done. It felt like that. I didn't wait. I got up on the chair and shoved myself through the window. My belt caught. My sister grabbed my arm. Her grip was hot. She pulled. I went out head first and landed on my palms. The chairs behind us toppled. The door creaked. It bowed again. The whisper in the vent faded. The window came down on my sneaker. I wriggled free. We were in the alley. No one stood there, at least not right away. We didn't have a plan. We just moved. We went along the wall, kept our heads down, and came out by the loading dock. The light there was a different color. More yellow, less white. It felt safer for a second. You know how that is. Then we heard the scuffing shift directions. Someone, something, more than one, reached the end of the hall we just left and found the stairs. It sounded like that. The rhythm changed. A slow, full-body wave of shoes on concrete. I can't say it better. Step, drag. Step, drag. More of them. Closer. The shuttle, my sister said, pointing. The night shuttle came by every half hour. It looped the dorms and the parking lots and the weird far building where the art kids had studio space. It stopped right there by the loading dock if you waved. I didn't want to wait. I stuck my arm out anyway. The shuttle headlights came around the corner too fast, like it was early. Or we were late. The doors hissed open when it rolled up. I saw the driver's outline. Cap, jacket, the wheel. We climbed on. The door folded shut behind us with that soft rubber sound. I smelled cleaner and a hint of gasoline. I remember thinking, "Thank you. Thank you. Someone." I reached for the rail. My sister stuck by me, close enough I could feel her shoulder under my arm. I looked down the aisle. Everyone faced forward. No one moved. The bus was full. Not packed, but full in that way of late rides where no one wants to sit by anyone else. Hoodies, caps, hair, shoulders, no faces. I didn't know it at first. I thought it was my angle. Then the driver turned a little. He glanced at the mirror to check us. No face. Smooth. Where his profile should have been, where his nose should have been, was nothing. Just that same blank. He turned his head back to the windshield like he never turned at all. And even though I didn't see eyes, I felt them. The attention. Every head front. The air got thin. I didn't say a word. My sister made a sound that wasn't a word. My hand found the door button. I hit it. The doors opened. The bus didn't stop like it was supposed to. It just rolled. We were still moving. I got one foot on the step, the other not. A hand from the first seat reached and closed on my wrist. Cold. Wrist to bone. Those smooth fingers wrapped around and stayed. No squeeze. Just all the weight of it. I pulled. It didn't let go. My sister grabbed my hoodie and yanked with both hands. I felt the hood bite my neck. My skin burned. The hand loosened. Not like it lost strength, like it decided. It let me go. We stumbled out, both of us, half falling onto the concrete. My knee hit hard. The bus kept on. No one inside turned. They stayed straight, forward, in rows, in the fluorescent spill from the ceiling lights, humming. The driver never looked back. We ran then. No more trying to act normal. We ran toward the parking garage because it was open all night and had stairs. Stairs felt safer than elevators. We could cut through and come out right by my dorm. I kept counting the levels in my head. Ground. 1, 2, 3. I told myself that. The garage was lit and loud. The hum was worse in there, maybe because of the concrete. Lights made a line along the ceiling. The floor had black tire marks and old oil. I keep thinking I remember a smell of cat pee, but that might be me mixing it up with another night. It doesn't matter. We passed the first stairwell door because it was propped with a rock. I didn't trust propped doors anymore. The second door was shut. That seemed better. I yanked it open. It banged the wall. The stairwell felt colder. Sound echoed strange. The light in there did that slow flicker. On. Steady. Off. Back on. I took the first step and heard the scuffing. Not up or down. It was everywhere. Above. Below. The rub of 100 shoes making one sound, finding one beat. My sister grabbed the back of my shirt. I said, "Stay right here," and knew that was stupid. They were in there with us. Not all at once. Not like a crowd that charges. Just there, on the landing above, another on the landing below, then more on both, filling in, smoothing out space. They filled the stairs without jostling. No one looked at the other. They didn't need to. They faced us. The way they turned together made my stomach flip. They didn't reach yet. They didn't have to. When you have that many bodies, space closes without anyone doing much. We went up. That made no sense. We should have gone down to the path. I thought that at the same time I moved. Up felt closer. 2 flights and a door to the sky bridge, to the dorm. My foot fumbled. I grabbed the rail. Cold metal. Sweat made my grip slick. My sister kept pace. She breathed hard. No crying, no yelling, just that hard breath through her mouth. They came up from below and down from above, same pace. They matched us without hurrying. The rail touched sleeves that weren't mine. A shoulder brushed my chest, and I almost threw up from the cold. Someone's fingers slid along my forearm and rested there like a hand on a patient. That same too gentle pressure that made my heart go weird. We pushed. I didn't want to push. I did. Elbows and soft sides. A forearm across my back. A coat caught my zipper and then let go. I said, "Sorry," like a moron. I got a different hand on my shirt front and I slapped it away. It came back. Not angry. The opposite. It was calm. Too calm. I said, "Move," and my voice cracked. On the next landing, one stood in the middle. Tall. Hoodie pulled up. That blank front turned toward me. The smooth skin where everything should have made me laugh. It didn't. It made my head buzz. I lifted my phone without thinking and hit the light again. I didn't mean to. My thumb found it. The white blew out the details on the skin. I saw nothing. Just how smooth it really was. No pores. It doesn't matter. The ones on the next landing turned to that flash at exactly the same second, every head pivoting to catch it. They then pivoted back to us together. It felt like standing on a dock when a big boat goes by and all the boards shift under your feet. My sister said my name. I said, "I know." I put my hand on her back and pushed. We went into them. Not through, into. And we kept going. You can do that, if you don't think about it too long. Bodies gave a little. Not much. They made the minimal space, like water when you step into a pool and it moves because it has to. They did not step aside. They did not move their arms with any urgency. But they accepted us through. The whole time, the shoes scuffed in time. The sound bounced up the stairwell and trapped in my chest. One grabbed my wrist again. Same cold. That hold, that wasn't a hold. It stayed when I pulled. I pried at the fingers. I couldn't get under them. No joints. My sister smacked a hand with her palm flat. Once. Twice. The third time, the fingers slid away without force. Not like she made them, like the beat told them to. We hit the sky bridge door. It had one of those little glass squares you can look through. I looked. Empty. I pushed the crash bar. It stuck. I kept pushing. It gave. 2 inches. Then stopped. I tried to wedge my shoulder. The weight of bodies behind us made a wall of heat and cold at the same time, if that makes sense. It doesn't. I got the door open enough to get my foot through. The scuffing slowed. It synced. They matched each other and my heart beat, and the lights, all of it. The hum of the bulbs matched too. I swear it did. I might be making that up. The door suddenly went all the way, like whatever blocked it decided to stop. We stumbled out onto the bridge. The bridge had all glass sides. We could see the parking lot on one side and the quad on the other. The reflection in the glass showed figures behind us, but the glass made it a smear. I didn't want to see them clear. We ran. The bridge went straight to the second floor of my dorm. The card reader light blinked. Red, green, red, green. I held my ID card wrong 3 times. My hands shook. I said, "Come on, come on." My sister didn't say anything. Someone touched the middle of my back with a flat palm and kept it there just long enough for my skin to crawl up my spine. The reader finally went green. The lock clicked. We shoved in. The lobby lamps were on. The soda machine buzzed, Down the hall, someone's TV bled a sports game faintly through a door. I almost cried at that normal sound. We took the stairs, because I didn't want to wait for an elevator with those doors. We went up one floor. My room was near the end. The carpet muffled our steps. We passed the RA board with the stupid drawings. A flyer on the wall peeled up at one corner. I think it said Karaoke Thursday. We got to my door. I couldn't get the key in because my hand wouldn't hold still. My sister took it. She got it on the second try. We went in and shut it. I locked the knob. I slid the deadbolt. I pushed my desk chair under the knob, even though that wouldn't have done anything. Habit. Panic. Whatever. We didn't turn on the main light. We used the little lamp by the bed. It hummed less. I don't know why that mattered to me then. I moved around the room, touching things I didn't need to touch. A book. A cup. Like if I touched enough normal things, it would undo it. My sister sat on the floor with her back to the bed and her knees up. She kept her hands out of her sleeves and held them in front of her face, like she needed to see if they were still hers. I got her a hoodie of mine. She didn't put it on. She said, "Don't open the door," and I laughed because, yeah. We waited. We listened. A couple of times I heard something in the hall. A door closing. A cough. Normal sounds. The longer we sat there, the less sure I was about any of it. It got blurry. I asked if she wanted water. She nodded and didn't drink. I checked my phone. It had 15%. I plugged it in and then unplugged it because the charger made a little whine I couldn't stand. I typed campus security a message and deleted it. What would I say? People outside don't have faces? I didn't send it. Maybe that was dumb. Maybe I did send something. I don't think I did. Sometime after, the hall went quiet. College halls do that in waves. You think it will be loud until 4, and then it drops off at 2:30 like someone hit a switch. I must have dozed for a minute, or not. My eyes closed. When they opened, the numbers on my microwave clock said 3:11. I remember that number exactly. I don't remember why I looked. I just did. We both heard it at the same time. The shoes. Not walking. Not running. Not knocks. It was that scuffing, right outside the door. Up and down the hall. More than one. Maybe 10. Maybe more. The sound found the same beat again. Together. Scuff, 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 scuff. In time. It got louder, then softer, like they moved closer and then away without going anywhere at all. My sister whispered my name. I didn't answer. I stood up. The floor felt cold through my socks. I stood at the door. The sound went right up to it, like they lined up with their toes on the little line of tape we had put there when we moved in to keep from scratching the carpet. I don't know why I did it. I put my hand on the knob. I didn't turn it. I just touched it. The scuffing stopped, all at once. No trailing off. No last out-of-sync foot. It just cut. The hum from the lamp sounded big in the sudden quiet. I took my hand away. Nothing. I waited for a breath, for a voice, for anything. There was nothing else. We didn't open the door. We didn't sleep, either. I stood there with my hand an inch from the knob, trying not to think of all that blank skin and the way they turned to the light together. I waited for the scuffs to start again. They didn't. The clock went to 3:12. We were alive. That was it. I tell myself that was it. I keep doing that. But some nights, when it gets quiet and the hum comes back, I still hear that chorus, all matched, coming down the hall to where we sit. It stops when I touch the knob. Every time. I don't touch it much. I don't know what happens if I turn it. I don't want to know. At all. I hope you enjoyed that one. Sometimes these stories stay with you longer than you expect. If you'd like to hear more, subscribe for the next night's story. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe watch another before the lights go out. See you in the next one.